Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tristate with Tiny and Katie.
Well, hello, and welcome to Friday's edition of Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, winner of the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. Today we are going to see a little bit of snow and rain, no accumulation, and a high of 38. And snow continues tonight, low 27, nice and chilly. And then tomorrow the sunshine's going to come out, but it's going to be a high right around 33.
As we talked about with Donnie yesterday, you can keep the snow talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I know, you are not happy about the snow at all.
Look, give us a little dusting on Christmas Day, and I'll be fine.
It's been a while since we've had that.
I know.
Do you remember the one year? It was
Yes.
what was I going to say?
You were going to say, you were either going to say where it snowed a lot on Christmas Day,
No.
and it did, or you were going to say where it was like 70 degrees.
Yes. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago.
And it did not do it.
It did not. Speaking of Christmas, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? 5 days until,
5
oh my
days,
gosh,
yeah.
5 days until Christmas. And then before you know it, the ball's going to be dropping and we're going to be ringing in 2024.
And we have, so this is the final shopping weekend
Yes.
for Christmas, which is always, my goodness, I can't even imagine, tonight, tomorrow, just crazy.
You know the one store that I will not venture out to, which I probably should, but I won't? Costco.
Oh, yeah, I'd imagine.
I mean, it's already packed on like a random Monday. I can only imagine the weekend before before Christmas.
That
but
really stinks because I did see a couple things that I need from Costco.
And they have really good Christmas presents there.
They
They
do.
really do. And, of course, then they have the rotisserie chickens
Yeah, the rotisserie chickens, they have
for
a-
$4.99.
I was thinking about it. I don't know if you ever had this. The Junior's cheesecake, right? In New York.
No.
Okay, they're Carnegie Deli obviously is what everyone thinks of when they think of cheesecake from New York, the massive,
Okay.
5-inch tall piece. Well, Junior's is one of the more frequented restaurants and known for their cheesecake, and they've done a great job of maintaining the integrity of the product, but they're everywhere, which
Okay.
is great. So Mary got we got them at Costco. They looked like the mini muffins, but the cheesecakes. So there was chocolate raspberry and plain trouble. But they have a cheesecake that is shaped like a tree, a Christmas tree, about this big, chocolate covered.
Okay.
I am tempted to try to get it for Mary, but A, it's massive, and only her and my sister-in-law really like it. And B, it's $27.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Now, I don't necessarily, the price is obviously crazy, but
I mean, if you have a lot of people over and
That
that's
would
the main
love cheesecake.
that was the main dessert, that would make, oh my gosh, that sounds really good.
it probably is really good. But I'm telling you what, if I whip that thing out,
Is that a seasonal thing? Well, is
Yeah.
it only around this time of
for
year?
the Christmas tree, yes.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
It's literally looks like a Christmas tree, and they douse it. You can tell it just flows over it, and then they decorate it with tinsel, with icing on it.
Costco has it made when it comes to desserts. Their sheet cake is my favorite. That's my favorite cake outside of like ice cream cake.
Yeah.
Costco sheet cake is my favorite. Their cheesecake is incredible. Their pumpkin pies are delicious.
Oh, pumpkin pies are
The boat. What is
Oh,
that
the
called?
tuxedo.
Tuxedo.
Yes.
How did you know this is what I was thinking?
Because you went bow tie.
Oh yeah, the bow tie cake or tuxedo cake.
That wasn't hard to figure. My microphone has completely dropped. Hopefully you heard everything that I was just saying to you, because my microphone just dropped off completely. So,
Well, as
sorry.
you are readjusting, let's talk about this day in history. 221 years ago in 1803, France formally transferred ownership of the Louisiana Territory to the U.S., and it was worth roughly $15 million, which was 3 cents an acre.
Yeah, it was quite a bargain.
It is, yes, and it was 204 years ago. The state of Missouri imposed a $1 bachelor tax on single studs from ages 21 to 50. I've never heard of a bachelor tax.
I used to pay it all the time.
I'm sure you did, yes.
It was awful.
164 years ago, South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union. Within 2 months, people in Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas followed suit. There was a very popular movie that debuted 78 years ago. Do you have any guesses what that movie was? It is a Christmas movie.
It's a Wonderful Life.
You got it, 78 years ago. Still a great movie, still one that makes me extremely emotional. And The Dating Game. Do you remember The Dating Game?
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't think I ever actually watched an episode.
Did you ever see the movie on Netflix? It's called Woman of the Hour.
No, but I want to. I love Anna Kendrick.
It is fantastic.
I've heard that. Yeah, I heard that from you.
And there was an interesting thing I read about. She produced that. That's like her movie. She took all the proceeds from it and donated it to like women from victims of violence.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Because she just said she didn't feel right making money off of it. Do you know the story behind it?
I know it's a true story.
Yes. It's about a woman who went on the dating game and ended up being matched with a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
And the poster, I guess you would call it, where he's standing behind Anna Kendrick's character, and they have him shadowed out just enough to where you can almost see there's a face there. It's very well done.
It's one of the best movies I think I saw this whole year. It was fantastic. The Godfather Part 2 opened nationwide 50 years ago today. 38 years ago in 86, Walk Like an Egyptian hit number 1. I mean, I can still hear it in my head. Walk like an Egyptian. There you go.
Is that the Bengals?
It is the Bengals.
Okay.
Good job. 28 years ago in 96, Scream was released. Nat Campbell, Rose McGowan, Drew Barrymore, Courtney Cox. That was 28 years ago.
Oh, so 2 years, 30 years old.
And we've had like 15 sequels since.
That's crazy. It's that old.
I actually really enjoyed the most recent one.
Wasn't bad.
With Courtney Cox and David Arquette.
Yeah, it was too bad.
I thought it was okay.
I was never really a fan of those movies.
Oh.
Amazingly, I preferred I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Really?
Just the first one. I didn't care that they kept going on, but the Screams was. I was always I love slashers. Don't get me wrong, but I was always Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. It was okay. Whatever. They felt like they needed to make a newer one, like a '90s, starting in the '90s one. But I mean, it was just kind of mad for me.
Oh wow, I loved it. I really loved that movie, and it launched the career for so many people. It is
because old Skeet Ulrich, he went really far.
Well, Skeet Ulrich and Nev Campbell, obviously. Courtney Cox. I don't know what else. I don't know if that was Friends. Was probably around that.
Yeah,
same
Friends
time.
was it for her.
And the guy David Lillard. Is it David Lillard?
Yeah, yep.
He was really big in the 90s as well after that. And Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, but Drew Barrymore didn't really need Scream. Not to mention, wasn't her character only in it for like
but she made
3 minutes?
Yes, but she is on the poster. If you look at the poster for Scream, Drew Barrymore is on there.
Well, it's Drew Barrymore. Why wouldn't you?
But she's literally screen time for a few minutes and then that's it.
There was a show called, was it Big Sky? I don't know if it's even still on. It was only a few years ago that it debuted. But I've always, I don't know why, I've always liked Ryan Philippe.
Okay.
I have no idea why. But he
AKA Ryan Phillippe, but fine.
Is it Phillippe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was advertised as being in this thing. And the preview showed like him somehow all through this. And no exaggeration, 2 minutes he's in and he's dead.
What's the movie?
It's a TV show.
Oh, okay.
Big Sky Country or Big Sky, I can't remember.
Spoiler alert.
It's crazy how quickly.
Did you ever see, speaking of Ryan Phillippe, did you ever see The Lincoln Lawyer with him and Matthew McConaughey?
I did.
That is a fantastic
Great movie. Yep.
That's a really good movie. It is National Sangria Day. So if you want to bust out some wine and some fruit and mix up a little sangria. It's also Ugly Sweater Day. I was reading something. I think it was.
I see you're participating.
Hey, this isn't ugly.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
It's just red with a vest. I'm very invested in this look today.
Rewind.
Okay. There's nothing ugly about this. Wow. I was reading something yesterday that said that ugly sweaters are kind of like on the way out. People aren't into it as much as they were. People got really into the ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah, and do you know why this is all on the way out? Is because it used to be that
people made them.
You either made them or you would stumble upon them in a Goodwill. Well, now companies are making them.
Mm-hmm.
So ugly sweaters are now not ugly. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still ugly, but they're not ugly sweaters in the, oh God, that's ugly. You expect it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's become a design. It's become a thing.
Well, it was a great money-making strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was trying to get in on that. Celebrities were coming out with their own ugly Christmas sweaters. And it did start as a joke. That's how it all started. But then obviously from 2012 to 2015, the ugly sweater industry grew by 200%. And then there were all kinds of celebrities from Beyonce to Bill Murray that were trying to get in on it with their faces on them. So you don't see them as much anymore. I think it's only fun if you make them. I remember doing
that. I mean. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in Girl Scouts when I was younger, I remember we did it. We had one of those white, hoodless, sweaters and we would just put like pom-poms on it and puffy paint and wear it around and say Merry Christmas.
The plasticky tinsel that would go around. I saw people who would do that. They'd staple it on there.
Yeah,
when I was kids, you'd take the Christmas balls and you'd thread, like you literally, it wasn't the most comfortable thing because it scratched the heck out of your skin, but you would literally take them and thread them through the sweater and hang Christmas balls from
we just did a lot of hot glue. But then we would make them for our parents. So you could always tell which parents had kids in Girl Scouts because they were walking around with these ugly sweaters that their kids made.
They had to act like they liked them.
Yeah, so it's a good day to drink some sangria in your ugly Christmas sweater if you have one. That's a nice combination on a Friday. Let's go ahead and check in with the good word of the day.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Kincaid, pastor at Messiah United Methodist Church in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And this week in church, we talked about Jonah. You know, Jonah, that prophet that got swallowed by a giant fish. I call him Judgy Jonah because, you know, most people run away from God because they did something wrong, but Jonah ran away from God because he thought God was wrong. That's right. God asked Jonah to go and preach to the people of Nineveh, and Jonah didn't want to because the people of Nineveh were his enemies, the enemies of him and his people, and he knew that God was giving them a chance to repent and be saved because God is kind and merciful and compassionate, and just Jonah did not want that for his enemies, right? And so this is really good for us to hear right now. I mean, in our world right now, our public discourse has gotten so ugly, so us against them. I mean, no one wants to show mercy to their enemies. They just trash talk them on the internet in front of the whole world. But really, we need to move past that if we're ever going to have true healing and true peace in our world. The book of Jonah really answers this question, like, whose side is God on? The book of Jonah shows us that God doesn't play our us against them games. God doesn't judge people by their labels, Jew, Christian, pagan. No, God judges us by the truth of what's really in our hearts. When we are confronted with our sin, will we humbly repent and turn to God for forgiveness? Or will we stubbornly insist on doing things our own way? Will we continue to trash talk our quote-unquote enemies? Or will we repent and recognize that we are all created and loved by God so much that he gave his life for us on the cross? May we all be humble and repentant as we think about God and how he just doesn't play favorites. And if you'd like to know more about the Bible and how relevant it is to what's going on in our world today, well, come join us on Sunday. Messiah United Methodist Church is at 30 South Penn Street in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, and our service is at 9 a.m. And you can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. And wherever you are, whatever you're going through, please know that you are precious to God and you are precious to us here at Messiah United Methodist Church. So take care and God bless.
I'm Nick Seco from Home Right Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice online at homerightwaynesboro.com. And we are joined now by someone who I have not talked to in quite some time. I was just telling her that it's been years. Last time you and I talked, Gail, I believe it was probably around 10 years ago or so, and we were at Dave & Buster's down at was it Columbia Mills Mall?
Oh, wow. Yeah, when we had our the little get-together for the lottery.
Yes.
Yeah.
This fine lady is Gail Pelovitz. She is the Assistant Director of Communications for the Maryland Lottery. And Gail, we've got something going on today. Now, just so everyone knows, in the interest of full disclosure, as this is airing, we could wind up with this having already been claimed, just so everyone knows. But we are dealing with a pretty big Mega Millions jackpot. Tell us about it, Gail.
Yeah, so tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is currently estimated to be $825 million. So that is very close to the $1 billion mark.
Right.
That is the seventh largest that Mega Millions has ever been. There's always a chance that the jackpot may increase before the drawing takes place. So we'll see what happens, but it'll at least be $825 million.
Wow. So what is the largest? Do you have that number offhand, roughly? I remember, I know it got over $1 billion, didn't it?
It did. So they've had quite a few over $1 billion for Mega Millions. I know that the largest we've had in Maryland was $218.6 million, which was a few years back, about 12 years ago. Yeah. So it seems like people don't get quite as excited anymore until it reaches that $1 billion mark, which is...
Yeah, then you have people all around the office, they're pooling, let's try to win this thing. But it's a lot of excitement. And even if you don't play, I've noticed that people still follow it. They want to hear about it. They want to know about the Mega Millions. I think that's really, really cool that people do that.
Right. And it's always the thing with the lottery is that even if you don't play, if you live in the state where the lottery is, you're still going to win because a lot of the money goes back to the state from the lottery. So it always works out.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it goes to like senior programs, which I think is
so
great.
for Maryland, a big thing is we give a big portion to the general fund, which then helps things like public health, public safety, education. So, for example, last fiscal year, which ended the end of June, we gave $1.585 billion. So that's over $1.5 billion back to the state. This is from lottery, casinos, and sports wagering all combined. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong here. This is kind of like a inside baseball type question for you. But does the lottery handle the gaming commission?
So we regulate the so we're Maryland Lottery and Gaming Agency is our official name, and we regulate the casinos in the state of Maryland and sports wagering.
I think everyone, when they think of Maryland Lottery, if they don't think of the overall lottery or the Mega Millions, their mind goes to one thing, and that's where it goes for me: the scratch-offs.
Yeah, so scratch-offs are fun. We always have such a variety too that you can choose from. So, like we currently have a Game of Thrones ticket out. So if you are a Game of Thrones fan, even if you're not, it's a cool one because there's a second chance promotion where you can win a trip to California with it. So we have those. We have holiday ones that are really popular right now. They range in price from $1 to $20. You can gift them. Of course, if the people you are gifting them to, they have to be over 18 though. We have to remember that around the holidays, especially that they are not for children. 18 and over, holiday scratch-offs make great gifts. We even have one this year. It's a $1 ticket. It's a gift tag cash, and it has to and from on it, so you can use it as a gift tag.
Do you have? I had one of those, Gail. Do you have one that you can hold up and show us?
I can get one.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I know I had one laying here that you personally gave me the other day, and I scratched it off and completely lost it.
I should have brought some to show you.
That's okay. We might just pop one up on the screen.
Yeah, and if you go to the mdlottery.com, you can check out all the different holiday tickets we have. And if your holiday scratch-offs are not a winner, you can enter them into a second chance contest. The second chance promotions are all through My Lottery Rewards. That's our free rewards program. You can enter the non-winning holiday scratch-offs, and we're giving away a bunch more cash. So we have giving away a lot of $5,000 prizes. And then at the end of the promotion, next month, there'll be a $100,000 winner.
You know what I love, Gail, is the ease of claiming scratch-off tickets at a Maryland Lottery retailer, because just this past weekend, I had about, I'd say, 6 or 7 to claim. And what was nice about it was twofold. Number one, it was super easy because I just found the Maryland Lottery gaming terminal in my local convenience store. And all you do is scan them. It tells you, first of all, was it a winner? And if it was, it tells you how much. So there's no interpretation of the symbols, because I know sometimes maybe some of our older viewers and listeners may have a difficult time seeing the symbols, or might come off when you scratch it a little bit, which is very rare, but nonetheless, it tells you how much it's for, and then it asks you if you want to just keep it or cash it in. You do all the tickets you need to, and then it prints you out a slip. You take it to the customer service rep at your convenience store, and they hand you cash.
Yep, we make it easy. If you don't want to if you don't want to give the ticket to the retailer to check on their machine, you can check it at the vending machine to see if it's a winner, and then go over. There are many different options as far as that goes. So,
and you know what the beauty of it is too is it's not just great from a standpoint of someone who wants to claim the ticket. It's great from the standpoint of someone who may be in line at a convenience store who years ago you had to wait for this process of scanning the ticket. How many tickets do you have? Let me print this up. Let me go to this register. Now you go to that terminal and it is quick as it could be. You can buy a candy bar. It takes longer to buy a candy bar.
Right, definitely. So many different options, because some people may prefer to go up and speak to the clerk and do it that way. And some want to go to the vending machine where you can just press, and decide what games you want.
Right. And I love too, I'll stop talking about this vending machine because I just love it. But is you can take your winnings, and if you'd like, you can claim them right there at the vending machine for more scratch offs if you like.
Right. So you don't even have to get the cash out and put it back in. You can, you can just turn it over.
So, Gail, what now we are obviously, this is broadcasting on 92.1 FM, 92.1 The Goat, and our YouTube page and live stream. Now, one of our sister stations, 101.5 Bob Rocks, they are doing their Day Before Christmas Spectacular later on today, beginning at 2 p.m. when we go off the air. Now, what wound up happening was you stopped by because you dropped off yesterday a really cool prize that you are putting up for this benefit, to benefit Girls Inc. What did you bring? If you love scratch-offs, by the way, you're going to love this thing. What did you bring, Gail?
Yeah, so this is a wreath. It's made out of the $2, it's gold outside scratch-off. Real pretty, too, because it's a gold ticket. And my coworker, Mary, who's so creative, makes these into wreaths that we then, can do good things with, and for good causes. It's worth it has $100 worth of tickets in there. So
wow, that's incredible. Well, first of all, thank you for bringing that in, Gail. It was so nice of you to do that. Now we are in football season, full bore, full steam ahead, and you never know at the beginning of the season how your team's going to do. Well, it turns out the Ravens are on track to are one of, if not the toughest and best teams in the ASC, and you have a Ravens game going. Is that correct?
Yeah, so our Ravens scratch-offs, they're always really popular. We have a $2 ticket and a $10 ticket. The $10 ticket, you can win up to $200,000. We actually had a winner last week that came in from Reisterstown. She was a great-grandmother of 18.
Wow.
And she won the $200,000 prize, so that was pretty cool.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, her great-grandkids will have a good Christmas, I'm sure. And her story's on our website, too. You can check that out. But there are still 5 top prizes on that ticket, the $200,000, and a bunch also on the $2 ticket remaining. And that has a great second chance promotion. So a lot of our tickets have promotions where you win cash. There's cash in this also for the Ravens, but you can win prizes. This past weekend, we had winners go on a trip with the team. So they traveled on the team train with the Ravens to New York, and then had tickets to the game, and then came back with the team on the train. Things you can't buy. We also, which you can buy this, but our big prize is club level season tickets for 20 years.
Whoa!
You can buy it if you have a lot of money, but
no kidding.
But yeah, that's a pretty amazing prize.
Well, you might want to win the Mega Millions before you go trying to pull the trigger.
Exactly.
On
so instead, you can just buy a scratch-off ticket, a Ravens ticket, $2 ticket, $10, enter it, and you're automatically entered to win one of these cool prizes. And our final drawing for this year's promotion is actually Monday. So
wow.
Yeah,
we're talking with Gail. She's with the Maryland Lottery. She's their assistant director of communications. Gail, I do think we need to cover some legal stuff. We ask everyone to please play responsibly.
Yes. And also, 18 and over, and responsibly as well, as far as, don't play outside your means. Like, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a form of entertainment. We don't want people going and spending more than they can.
And it's not meant to be an income.
Exactly. Don't expect for this to be to pay your bills with it. This is just supposed to be fun and gives people a chance to dream big, and and we see winners. So you never know what'll happen. It just takes a couple bucks. You don't need to spend more than that.
Speaking of which, seeing winners, I'm not sure if you knew this or not, Gail, but coincidentally, I believe it was just the other day that we had a local winner here in our pretty much direct area, just south of Hagerstown, down in Sharpsburg, had somebody pick up $50,000 in a Maryland lottery scratch-off.
I do remember seeing that. Yeah, so right down the street.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, $50,000. That look, it's life-changing money for one thing.
It is if you do the right thing with it, and yeah, definitely. And we always tell people, also, especially with the Mega Millions jackpot being so high, even if the jackpot isn't hit, make sure you check your tickets. I wanted to talk about that earlier when you were talking about scanning your tickets, because a lot of people that play just when the jackpot's big may not realize there are so many other prizes that you can win, even if it's just a few dollars, or it could be $1 million. But just because the jackpot doesn't hit, you should still always check your tickets.
Absolutely. Well, Gail, thank you so much for joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State today. We'll gladly have you back here when we get some new scratch-offs coming your way, coming our way, I should say. And have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank you so much for giving us that, we'll call it a wreath of Franklins, perhaps. I just love that when you guys did that years ago. Gail, thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you.
At least part of I-70 eastbound near Clear Spring was closed down yesterday morning because a tractor-trailer full of orange chicken tipped over, state officials said. The left lane reopened around 9 a.m. yesterday morning. The eastbound lanes fully reopened shortly before 1 p.m. The right lane had remained closed until early afternoon while crews finished moving cargo from the damaged trailer to another truck and then brought in heavy equipment to remove the damaged trailer. The truck driver was taken to Meredith Medical Center near Hagerstown via ambulance with non-life-threatening injuries. The crash near the 18-mile marker occurred shortly before 4:30 a.m. A Franklin County farmer and business owner told Waynesboro Rotarians that she will go to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary to stop an electric utility from cutting a 29-mile-long swath of transmission line through the Prime County farmland. Lori Rice heads up the Stop TransSource group. Their 8-year effort to stop the line is now under appeals in the courts. Police are investigating after a man was found dead at Chambersburg's Southgate Mall on Wednesday evening. Officers responded to the area at around 6:44 p.m. for a reported shooting, according to Chambersburg police. The deceased person was located roughly in front of Family Dollar. Witnesses said there had been a fight and shots were fired. This was a targeted act of violence, and the public is not at risk, police said. Police are looking for information about the incident. Surveillance video captured a light-colored van at the scene, and police say the driver is a person of interest wanted for questioning. Submit tips to Chambersburg's police via the Crime Watch website or calling the station at 717-264-4131. And finally, U.S. Senator Bob Casey on Wednesday offered farewell remarks on the Senate floor 4 weeks after conceding the race for the seat to Pennsylvania Republican Dave McCormick. Casey, a three-term incumbent from Scranton, has served in the Senate since 2007. McCormick will be sworn in January 3rd, joining Democratic Senator incumbent John Fetterman in the Pennsylvania delegation.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, winner in the 2022 Best of the Tri-State. You know, Nick, we're going to have to change that up because we're coming up on the 2025 Best of the Tri-State. So we got to get Home Right rocking and rolling with some votes, baby.
We do. We got to get all those folks voting for us again so we can remain the top dog.
You're not kidding.
Now, let me first start off here by talking about, Nick, how you're my hero.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, and I've said this a few times, but I want...
To different people today, she said it a few times.
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
I do want everyone to know how you helped me. So recently, I was looking into buying a house, and I knew that the windows and the doors were bad. I knew it. They were very, very old. The house was built in the early 1900s, and you could see it. Tiny, you saw it with me, that they were in rough condition.
Yeah.
Well, I really wanted to get a genuine estimate on it and wanted somebody that I could trust. So Nick goes with me to the home inspection, walks around, measures all of the windows, and within, I don't know, an hour or two, sends me back a quote for everything. It was all done within like 2 hours. And my realtor was also quite impressed with you as well. And so you just in that small interaction, you made an impact on a few people, myself included.
Well, good. But, we try to solve problems. And your problem was you had a possible real estate transaction that you needed to answer some really tough questions in a hurry. So I kind of sensed that and knew you needed some information rather quickly.
And that's,
she did, buddy.
Is that something that you would do for anybody?
Well, I mean, yeah, we can't always get there that quick and provide the information that fast, but it just so happened that the day we had you, I mean, we did schedule that like a week or so out.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like we showed up right away, but yes, we try to get that information back within 24 hours typically. We were just happen to be able to get yours a little bit faster.
I just don't know if I can express how much that meant to me as a single woman looking into making an enormous purchase alone by myself. I want to know, like, honestly, what am I getting into? What is this looking like? Right. I don't want someone who's going to come in and say, yeah, you need a brand new everything just to make a quick buck. I want someone to tell me honestly, like, and you said, this window's good. This window's good. This window is not, and it was honest and I really felt like you were supporting me and guiding me in the right direction. And I do want you to know how much I truly, truly appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I think you're touching on something that not just in the window industry, but the remodeling industry in general, there are a lot of companies that want to come out and close that business down on the spot. Mm-hmm. And you talked about being, the sole potential owner here, or a lot of times you're talking about elderly folks. People are out there being taken advantage of by companies who come in there and say, well, you have to do this, and this is what it's going to cost. And
it's not going to meet code if you don't.
Right, yeah. and scare you into making a decision that you really didn't want to make. Right. So
almost a predatory type.
Correct.
Yeah.
Our industry is just full of it. Yeah, it's crazy the way some of these companies operate.
And like you said, they put so much that they just shoot people out to try to sell, to close, and don't really take the time to make that personal connection. It's just about close, sell. They're salesmen. They're not window installers.
That's correct. Yeah. They're salesmen. They need to feed their families too, and the only way they do that is by closing.
Yep. It's the same thing with roofing companies too.
Exactly.
There's something that might be wrong with the roof, and then nope, you need a whole new roof. And I would actually get it done soon because the wintertime and yada yada. So something that I love about doing this show, Tiny, with Let's Talk Tri-State, is we get these reputable companies that come in like HomeRight that we trust and really rely on, and genuinely thank you for doing that with me. And unfortunately, the house didn't work out, so you can take me off your schedule if I was on there.
I already ordered the windows.
Well, you're on the hook then. Hey, somebody's getting new windows there.
Return policy on that one. But yeah, I appreciate you doing that. But speaking of windows, I know that your manufacturing partner is Provia. And when you emailed me the quote for the windows and the doors, it's all Provia.
Yeah.
And why that company? I wanted to ask you that.
So we've been solely with Provia for about 5 years now. We've had other window manufacturers through the years, and Provia was our door supplier initially. They did our steel doors, our storm doors, our entry doors, and they were always top notch. And they're known in the industry as one of the best door companies out there. When COVID hit, I feel a pun or a pun.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That's adorable.
Oof.
Okay.
Very
you did provide her entryway into that.
I did.
To be fair.
Don't.
She didn't even pick that one up.
No, I did. I just ignored it. Oh. He always tries to outpun me. But yes, I go on. I didn't mean to.
We meet a certain threshold, and she's just, I'm done.
Yeah, she tapped out.
Yeah, that's it.
So we were using Provia for their door program, which is fantastic. We were having some problems with some window manufacturers, actually, quality control type stuff. And I guess it would have been 2020 when COVID hit and a lot of manufacturers had trouble with employment. The wheels fell off some of these companies from a quality control standpoint. And we were dabbling with Provia's window program also at that point, and they never skipped a beat. I mean, as far as the cleanliness of their products, the packaging of their products, the quality control, all of those things that are extremely important to us as the end user of the product, because I don't want callbacks. I don't want to have to go back and take care of stuff that should have been right to begin with. Anyway, Provia did very good through that whole challenging time. And at that point, we totally cut off the other window providers we were working with.
Are there a lot of other window providers?
Thousands.
Are there really?
Literally thousands.
Oh my gosh, how do you even choose? Like, how do you even know who to choose? Just trial and error, I guess.
Exactly. So when we first got started, we were officially with a manufacturer that started the HomeRight business model. And then as time moved on and they kind of cut that program, we kept the name HomeRight. So we had one initial manufacturer. We moved on to another and then ran into these issues I was talking about. But for the last 5 years, and I've been called on by a lot of companies. A lot of companies want our business. We get salesmen coming in the door all the time. But Provia is just so good at what they do that we don't want to switch.
Yeah, would it have to be, this is kind of getting into the weeds of business, but would it have to be a wholesale switch to one company, or could you offer other, I mean, I know you said Provia checks off all the boxes, and believe me, they do. I can speak from firsthand experience, but would there be a requirement that you can only have one?
There's no requirement. We can sell whatever we choose to.
Right.
The thing for me that makes it so easy to do business with them is they have a portal that I use. So if a customer needs storm doors, patio doors, entry doors, windows, whatever it is, I go into that portal and I build out the estimate just like I did with yours, and it could be any or all of those products. And I shoot them an email from that portal just like you got. And it's all together. It's very professional. It's got all of the details. It's got all of the structural details, the energy efficiency details. That portal makes my life so easy. And then my customers get all of this information in an email, and it's like, wow, this is fantastic. It's very easy to go through with them. So to your question, if I'm offering a variety of products, now I'm going back to the old-fashioned way of building out these products with a different manufacturer, comparing it to what I have with Provia. It just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
And you're the expert, so I'm trusting that you're going to provide me with the best window company. So I believe that if that's the best one, why even dabble in any of the other ones?
Well, because I don't want to have to deal with callbacks. I don't want to install your windows and then have problems. So I am going to provide the very best options I have.
Yeah, Katie wouldn't like this, but if you had if she bought the house and you installed windows for her, like Nick would install them, and then he doesn't want to hear from you again.
That's it. Don't.
I'd break my own windows. Hey, Nick, I need you to come back.
Whoops! Oh, Nick, that just popped right out.
I did go on Provia's website earlier, and their products and their pictures on their website are very impressive. Very impressive. It's really amazing what good quality, clean, crisp windows and doors does to a home. Really just changes the complete aesthetic of it. And that's why I was a little bummed that the house didn't work out that you looked at with me, because could you imagine that darling little home with new windows and doors? It would have been...
Yeah, I think people are sometimes surprised how much of a difference it makes. And
sure.
It really does spruce up the house a lot. And to your point about the website, they've got a ton of great images on there. So anybody looking at HomeRight can go to Provia.com and see all of the doors they offer, all of the window options, all of the colors and things they have to offer. And in addition to that, they have they give you the ability as a homeowner to plug in your own pictures of your home.
Oh, that's cool.
And look at what your home would look like with the different options that they offer.
Is that unique to that company?
I think a lot of companies are doing it now.
That is really cool.
It's become a lot easier with all the AI and
all the technology these days. They're all taking advantage of. Yeah,
I'd love to see my home with the black windows.
Ooh.
There you go.
And that roof,
man.
Jump on Provia.com and get it done.
I'm going to have to do it.
Really cool.
And then when you're on the Provia website, I'm sure that it says find an installer, and boy, where does it point you? HomeRight windows and doors.
I hope so. I hope so.
We have to test that, because if they don't, there's a problem.
Exactly.
And next month, Nick, I'm going to be actually coming into HomeRight windows and doors.
Yep.
This is officially happening, so that we can really get in there and shoot some video and let everybody see firsthand how amazing the business is, all that you have to offer.
Yep.
You won't get her out of there. Just FYI.
Well, hey, we love the family story, the business story, the way it got started, the ups and downs that we've had through the years, and where we are now. It's a great story, and we're all very proud of it.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you here, and thanks for coming back and joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State.
Thank you,
I have a
guys.
feeling we'll see you again soon.
I think so.